Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Annabelle. To those who are new to this channel and to those who've always been there, hello, welcome back. So today I'm going to do a 5 things why I hate Germany video, and the 5 things that we're going to talk about are cost of living, insurances, paperwork, weather, and of course appointments in general. How does it work with appointments? So if you want to find out why I hate Germany, please stick around, don't go away. Let's start this video, guys. The first thing that we want to talk about today is weather. I mean, if you have immigrated to Germany from a warm country, you'll definitely know that this weather here is very, very, very cold. Let me take you back to where I come from in Africa. We have 9 months of summer and then only 3 months of winter. And in Germany, it's the other way around. 9 months of winter and 3 months of summer. Like, yeah. In 365 days in a year. No, this is unacceptable. This is just not good. There are days where I don't really like it, especially in high winter, where you leave work, like I go to work at around 7 a.m. It's very dark outside, like dark, like in the night dark, and then I come back at 16:30 or 17:30. It's also dark. What am I thinking of going to bed? Like, you can't really do anything also during winter time. This is also the other thing why I hate winter. Of course, you can go skating, ice skating or anything like this, but I can't do this. I can't do that, which means I don't have anything to do. For example, in high winter, it gets up to about -5, -10 degrees during the day. Like the jackets that I used to wear back home for winter, I cannot wear them here. They are special jackets which cost a little bit more, which are a bit thicker and very warm. Like it's a different story, guys. When it comes to weather, Germany is not smiling at you at all. Don't ever think that Germany will smile at you, because it's very cold. Some people are actually getting depression out of it, and you are sick all the time. Like, there's this grippe type of a flu that makes you sick like the whole time in winter. Like, you're always like often sick, not every day, but you're often sick and you're missing at work, which is also not good. This weather makes it really difficult to survive in winter. The second thing that we want to talk about is, of course, the cost of living. So under cost of living, we're just going to talk about the basic needs that human beings need to live. For example, shelter, food, clothes, and of course transport that will take you from home to the next place. So let's talk about a shelter, because when you are moving from your home to another country, you need a roof over your head. This is the first thing that you're looking at. And when you're talking about flat rents, when you are renting a flat, you're talking about 10 euros per square meter, and you need about 50 to 60 square meters times 10 as a rent. Not that you're owning it, that you're paying for it every month. And I think this is just too much. And we are talking about 10 euros per square meter in small cities. When you're going to bigger cities like Munich, Frankfurt, or anything like this, it's doubling. It's about 20 euros per square meter, which is just too much when you're talking about an average pay of about 1,500 after taxes. And yeah, people cannot, you cannot just afford everything. Let's talk about transport. Of course, there are public buses, transport and everything. They are costing, I think, €1.50. Like for me, for example, for me to get to the city with the bus, it's about €1.50. And where I come from, we used to pay 50 cents, like €1 for 2, to get to the city with our public transport. And let's talk about food. It's just too much. There's with food, there's a difference, because you can buy bio. Bio, it means it has been grown properly without adding any, what do you call it? Without adding any chemicals. The bio food is food that is grown without adding any chemicals, or happy chickens, if you want to call it, something like this, without being fed on anything that is not good or that has to do with chemicals. And this is already, we are talking about in a very expensive type of food when you're talking about bio. And when you're talking about normal food, it's also expensive. I think a loaf of bread that used to cost $1 back home costs here about €3 or something, which is already a difference. And people need shelter, people need food to live. Let's talk about clothes, guys. Of course, there are shops like Primark that sell clothes at a very cheaper price that everyone can actually afford. Talk about H&M or New Yorker, these shops, right? Everyone can afford. But is the quality okay? Can the quality last me longer? Because here, a normal jean, not on a Primark, you're starting off at €30, not less than that. And how much am I getting? I mean, I have to remove money for transport. I have to remove money for the shelter, for the flat that I'm renting. I have to remove money for food. And already, for me to clothe myself is already a difficult thing. Like, it's the cost of living is very difficult. Like, you need, I don't know, everyone owns almost a car here, right? But the fuel is also very expensive. It's not cheap at all, which makes everything really difficult. Like, the basic needs, you can almost not afford them. Like, talk about using your phone, Wi-Fi and everything. I think I pay about €25 a month. And then back home, I used to pay $1. That would last me, depending on how much I'm using it. Okay, in Zimbabwe, we use US dollars. I used to pay $1. It could last me for 3 days. And this €25 has to last me for 1 month. So I don't know, it's always this extra cost. Of course, back home, when you're comparing to the income that I'm getting here, it was less. But still, when you're comparing it, it's still here, the cost of living is still expensive. When you want to buy a house, for example, a family house, including the ground, including the garden and everything, it might cost you about €600,000. I mean, with €600,000, I think I will be having a hotel in Zimbabwe. Food for thought. So the third thing that we're going to talk about now is the insurances. This is very interesting. I'll tell you first how the insurances work here. Like, there are different types, thousands types of insurances that one can pay. But there is the health insurance, and the social insurance is removed from your pay. So when you're working and you're earning money, there's money that you call brutto. This is the money that you're getting before insurances, and then there is netto. That is the money that you are receiving in your account. So these health and social insurances are removed from the money that you are getting, right, from your pay. And then there are insurances like car insurances, bicycle insurances that you can actually, they're voluntary. You can pay them if you want, and if you don't want, you don't have to pay them. These ones are not paid from your pay. You just pay them on your own, right? So the reason why I don't like these insurance things, it's because every time I need my insurances, they are never working. They are never working how? I'll tell you a story, for example. So every time I go to a dentist, right, they always tell me, okay, you need a new filling for your teeth, right? Your teeth has a hole and we have to fill it in. But then they're always telling me that, we have a filling that your insurance can pay for, but this is a very cheap one, you don't need it because it will get just, next year you'll need a new one or something like this. It will give you problems. But we have one which is better and stronger that can last long. And this one, the insurance is not paying for it. So you have to pay it on your own. And then I'm like, okay, I'm paying insurances, but these insurances cannot really pay for my health in this way that they can pay for the right filling for my teeth, which is good, which is not like, next year it's you have to repay it again or something like this. And this is what I don't really like about Germany. This whole insurance things, like, I'm paying these insurances and they should cover for my health in this way, but it's always like with insurances, there's always something that is never working. For example, my eyes, I went to the eye doctor. My glasses, I went to the eye doctor and then it tells me, you need to start wearing glasses, and I'm like, okay, it's okay, I'm insured, then the insurance might pay for it. But no, the glasses, you pay for them on your own. I'm like, what's the insurance for? I'm not that type of person who's getting sick all the time, and then I'm thinking I pay these insurances every month, I'm getting paid, but I'm not getting paid, I'm not getting sick, and I'm not using them. Of course, they are used by other people who are getting sick and need it, but to me, I lived a life where I never needed an insurance. you know, in Zimbabwe, there's no insurance needed. People can live without insurances. If I want to save my money and put it in my pocket, it's okay. And then when I'm finally sick, then I can actually use it. Because I think it makes me careless, because I want to use my insurance money. I'm no longer taking care of my body. I'm no longer eating good, because you know what? I'm insured. My insurance is going to pay for my health, you know. But when it's not paying for you, then you are taking care of yourself. You're making sure that you're not getting sick or anything like this. This is what I don't really like, or I don't really understand about Germany. And then I'll tell you another story about this insurances, right? A friend of mine, his bicycle got stolen. This bicycle was insured, like 100% insurance was paid. But what did the insurance company say? They told him that, you know what? If you want us to pay for your bicycle next time, you lock it inside your house, because when you're locking it outside, it means it's not safe. It can be stolen anytime. And this is not our problem. We are not taking care of this insurance. I mean, guys, is that logic? Does that make sense? I mean, if I'm paying for my insurances, I want to be sure that when anything happens to me, to my bicycle, to my car, to my kids, to my house, I'm getting everything back. I mean, this is the reason for insurances, or not? But yeah, this whole insurance thing, I actually don't like it. The next thing that we're going to talk about is appointments in general. So I'll talk about appointments as in doctor's appointments and maybe friends' appointments. If you watched the expectations versus reality video, you might have a glimpse of what I'm talking about. Here, it's actually recommended that you actually go and check your eyes, or go to the dentist from time to time and check it out. And so sometimes it happens that you go for a visit, right? And then the doctor tells you, you know what, your teeth are not really healthy at the moment, but we need to make an appointment to check it out. And then I'm thinking, okay, if my teeth have a problem, then I'm just getting an appointment maybe for next week for checkup. But no, you get appointments maybe after 3 months, after 5 months. I mean, if I'm really sick, why can't I just get appointments right away? And so now my last visit at my dentist was, I think, in December, or just before I traveled home, and my next one is in April. I mean, 4 months down the line. If anything happens in between, I don't know. Of course, there are hospitals where you can go when you have an emergency, or when it's always open, you can always go there. But for checkups and everything, you're always getting these 3 months appointments, 3 months later. I mean, comment down below and let me know how you will take such situations. And then the other thing about appointments is these friends' appointments. I talked about it, but I'll just repeat it because it keeps happening. Yeah, that you want to meet your friends or anything, and then you're writing them, when can we meet? And then they're telling you, it's April 2 today, and then I think, let me check my calendar. My next free weekend will be 7 July. And then I'm thinking, okay, I wanted to meet you this weekend, and then I have to wait for the next 2-3 months to meet you. I don't know if this is cool, but I just don't like it. I mean, when people want to meet, they should just meet. You don't really have to wait for 3 months. I understand that people are busy, okay? It's okay, but sometimes I really think it's over-exaggerated. The funny thing about it is just Germans don't like it either. This whole appointment thing of not meeting and everything. Because they always want to meet too and do something together, but yeah, people never have time. So the final thing that we want to talk about is paperwork. What am I talking about when I say paperwork? I mean the papers that you have to fill for you, for example, for one to be allowed to study here, or for one to be allowed to stay here. Like, you have to go from office A, office B, office C. But I'll tell you a story about this. So when I wanted to do an Ausbildung is an apprenticeship when you are working and also studying at the same time. So when I wanted to start doing that, I had to bring papers. I had to find a place for my job, for work. So I had to get a paper from the government also, because if you're not from the European countries, you're not allowed to work here. So my employer sent me to the government. They needed a paper from the government that says I wanted to stay here. And the government wanted a paper that said I had a place from my employer. But I just couldn't get this paper because my employer was saying, I cannot give you a paper that says I'm employing you when you don't have a paper from the government that says you're allowed to work. And the government was also saying, we cannot give you a paper that says you're allowed to work when you don't have an employer, when you don't have a place that says you can work. So it was really difficult for me to finally get a paper or to be allowed. And this is the same thing that happens with the school. The school wanted a paper from the employer, and the employer was still waiting for the government to confirm, and the government was waiting for the employer. It was really a stressful time during this time for me to get all these papers done. But yeah, thank God it finally happened. I had to, I don't know, it just happened. I think the school ended up giving me a paper first, and then I showed it to the employer, and then the employer gave me a paper, and then I took it to the government, or the other way around. I don't know exactly how it went. Sometimes, you have to fill papers that have an attachment with it. Maybe you get one page of a paper that says, fill this in here, but there's an attachment to it. When you're checking the attachment, it's 10 pages. At the end of the 10 pages attachment, there's another attachment with 20 pages. At the end of the day, you're not just filling one page paper, you are filling a 30-page book. On the other hand, I understand it. Maybe they're doing it for security purposes or anything. Maybe my country will do the same, but sometimes it's just too much. And then I'll tell you a story also that happened to me, my experiences. So I finally started the course, right? I did it for 1 year, I finished. So my contract was ending end of July. And then I had already gotten a job that was starting in September, which means for the whole August I was unemployed. And this means here, when you're unemployed, you also have to fill all these papers to register that you're unemployed, so that the government can pay for your health insurance, which is important, and also give you a little money for you to survive. So I had to fill in all those papers. I needed about 4 weeks. 4 weeks of my employment time ended me running around trying to get all those papers that they needed. They needed a paper from my employer. They needed a paper from my au pair family. That was 2 years back. They needed a paper from, I don't know, school or anything. They needed papers from the government. It was just too much. I had to run from office A to office B to office C. And you know how it is with appointments. Sometimes you want an appointment at the government office, you're getting it after 3 months, only to be told that, no, this paper, you can get it at office C. This is really not easy at all. How can I use the whole 4 weeks to fill in a paper that I need for only 1 month, only to get money from the government? Yeah, I appreciate that the government is paying for you when you're unemployed and everything. On the other hand, maybe it has its ups and downs. Maybe I'll just be lazy and stay at home because I'm getting money from the government. Food for thought, but this is not the topic for the day. For today, we'll talk about it next time. So I think we've come to the end of this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, and join the family, of course. I'll see you on my next video.